Hello, and thank you for watching this short video. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Brother Sean, and I'm a lay monastic. That's a Franciscan monk who lives a simple life in his monastery without walls. A mouthful, yes. The title, Are You a Spiritual Drama Queen? A big one. And I was guided to do this because in the spiritual life, on the spiritual path, we are so blessed to meet such a diverse array of characters who share their life with you. And going back many years ago to my novitiate from 1966 to 68 in Southern Ireland, we had a wonderful group of young men who were testing their vocation to see if they were called to become nursing monks. But we lived the contemplative life for 3 years, and it was an interesting life. It was a tough life. I think prisoners in prison today have a far easier existence than we did, because there was no TV, no radio, nothing like that, no electrical appliances, even shaving, no electric shavers, and no mirrors or watches. I guess they were afraid that we might get carried away preening and pruning. But coming back to the theme, drama queen, well, that's a word that's termed or coined in society today. In the acting profession, oh, she's a drama queen. She goes off on one of her handles. But however, in the monastic life, we do meet drama queens. And I had the privilege of meeting one such drama queen, who was a beautiful guy, a postulant, who was English-Spanish. But you know what? He had the heart of gold. But he was a nightmare to live with, as I'm sure I was to him, because I was so strict. But everything was drama. The least little thing, it was a drama. If it was raining, oh my God, it was talk about clutch your heart, clutch those pearls, clutch your rosary, clutch your penitential thongs that we used to beat some sense into ourselves. But you know, he was an amazing guy to watch when he was having one of his dramas. And as a young novice, well, I was the senior novice, I was in charge of making habits for all the new monks who were coming up to take their vows. And his fitting proved to be a crucifixion. I laugh now when I think about it, all those years ago, nearly 40 years ago. And he was amazing. He lived on his emotions. A very bright young man, came from a good family. He had a great love of God, but he wore his love of God on his sleeve. And his relationship with God very much depended on his moods. But measuring him for his habit was okay. The making of it, not so okay. He drove me mental. He'd be popping in and out, up and down, unknown to the novice master. Can I have a fitting? I said, no, we've not done the sleeves yet. Then he'd come back again. I said, I'm sorry, I've not even taken it up yet. But then when we tried it on, my word, talk about drama queen. He got carried away. He was almost levitating. He really felt a surge of emotions that he almost erupted like a firecracker. He felt the monk. Oh, yes. And Brother Eddie and I looked at him, because we were both novices, and we thought, hello, this one is going to be some nut to crack. Heaven help the poor novice master when he gets hold of him as a novice. But he was so volatile. Anyway, when it came to the final fitting, it wasn't good enough. The sleeves were too tight, they were too short. The collar was too tight. It was supposed to be as a penitential act. It wasn't long enough. He wanted to train. Hello. Yes, he wanted to train when he walked into the chapel for his reception as a novice into the community. But we explained to him that the habit was made to a 14th century rule and it didn't include trains. The choir mantle, he wanted more material so he could lose himself in it. He wanted the choir hood to be bigger so that he could sleep under it. Oh, and it went on and on. But when it came to his habitation day, it was about 7 in the morning. It was the 17th of July, 1967. It was a circus. The church was full of people. The candles on the altar were beautiful. The flower display, the brasses never shone as bright. It was a beautiful summer's day, the feast of St. Alexis, one of our patron saints. And our 4 novices came in, and John, of course, John Gonzalez was his name in religion. He had to have the last position in the entrance in. And he came in and he was preening and pruning and tucking his sleeves. It wasn't good enough. He was disappointed he didn't have a train. And he had his candle in one hand with a beautiful rose, and then he had his crucifix in his other hand. And he was swaying and he was swooning, and I nudged my friend Eddie and I said, he's not going to make the service, he's going to do something dramatic. Well, right enough he did. When it came to him having the habit put on him, he passed out. Oh, and everybody knew that Brother Gonzalez, who took the name Martin de Porres, was going to have a humongous fainting episode, and he did. And he attracted all the attention. He had to have smelling salts. The service had to be delayed because it wasn't right. But then when the whole thing was over, we were exhausted because a service that normally took an hour and 20 minutes took 3. And afterwards he complained about everything. And not only everything, but he went behind the backs of the novice master, Brother Eddie and myself, and he was so ungracious. But then in a good mood, he was as nice as anything. But when he lost it, by Jove, he lost it. And he's what we call a spiritual drama queen. And I'm sure every convent and monastery, every community has one. Society have so many of them. You see them acting it out on screen. And even in our community, the Teo community, we've had a few drama queens from when we first started in 2008, but I don't think anybody can compete with Brother Martin de Porres. To be a spiritual drama queen, religious life isn't the place. It's not, because to live the monastic life, you've got to be consistent. You've got to keep your emotions in check, and you've got to curb your tongue. And you've got to try and remember that there are other people who share your journey with you. It's what we call respect, tolerance. But when you meet one, you never forget. And I know in the gay community we have a saying, don't we? Oh, she's a drama queen, meaning she's off on one of her tangents, or a hair day. That can be a bit unkind, but if you're hoping to live the spiritual life and you're a borderline drama queen, don't bother, because your life will be hell. You'll be picked on from morning to night. You'll be teased. Your life will be made a misery. You're better off staying on the outside, admiring the belfry, liking the tone of the bell, but you don't necessarily want to go in to become a monk to start pulling it. Live your life, but if you're wanting some fruitfulness from your ministry, being a drama queen is actually going to be a deterrent, because you need to be consistent. You need to be committed. And often you need to put yourself last, not first. Drama queens have a habit of always wanting their own way. And if they don't get it, then you know about it. to be a spiritual drama queen, well, I leave the decision to you. But let's be merciful and let's show compassion, because it takes all sorts to make a community. And having had the experience of one such spiritual drama queen, they certainly brightened up a dull day, and we'd lots of dull days in the monastery. So we send love and light to those who are, and pray that they don't get too disheartened or too discouraged. Thank you for watching.